Be ready, start. BJP's 90 aim 2023 state polls will see BJP fight with key advantages, but some states will be tough challenges. BJP President JP Nadda has set his party a tough challenge of winning all 9 state elections this year. Such a sweep would demoralize the opposition even before campaigning for the 2024 Lok Sabha polls begin. Also in BJP's sights are 160 Lok Sabha constituencies where it anticipates tough fights. Such long race planning is rare in Indian politics, which is why BJP has become an election winning machine. Nadda's focus on sweeping assembly polls is understandable. BJP is yet to dominate state assemblies like it does in national politics, where there is no rival to PM Modi in popularity or to BJP in resources, social engineering, and narrative setting. BJP clearly has not ruled out the possibility of developments in state politics crystallizing into a national opposition unity project. So it makes eminent sense for the party to project invincibility at both central and state levels. But Nadda's difficulty is that not all its state units are like their counterparts in Gujarat and UP, where factionalism has been completely stomped out. This is one reason BJP could not replicate its impressive Gujarat showing in Himachal. In Karnataka, the switch from B.S. Yedurappa to Baswaraj Bommai has not reduced internal bickering. In Rajasthan and MP, factional fault lines could soon emerge. Another worry for BJP is that Congress leadership appears prepared to give a tough fight in at least 3 states: Karnataka, MP, and Chhattisgarh. TRS, now BRS, in Telangana is a strong incumbent, and the CPM Congress alliance in Tripura could make the going tough for BJP. BJP's other difficulty is ultra competitive Walfarism. After its OPS gambit in Himachal, Rajasthan, and Chhattisgarh, Congress has promised in Karnataka a rupees 2000 monthly handout to women heads of households, a staggering annual exchequer outgo of rupees 36,000 crore. Depending on the extent of anti-incumbency, such sops may or may not get traction. BJP is betting big on 4 factors: Modi magic, sizable representation to OBCs, SCs, and STs in government and organization, welfare service, delivery, and India's growing international clout. Even for a state election, these are attractive propositions for voters. These 4 factors also feed into a grand narrative that opposition politics seem unable to dent. BJP's unceasing quest for victories is its biggest strength. Nadda's 9-0 Wager is based on that. Pak economy is a basket case. Its people are suffering. Its PM should stop obsessing over Kashmir. Pakistan PM Shehbaz Sharif's statement that after having fought 3 wars with India, his country had learnt its lesson and now wanted peace with its neighbor is half desperation and half humbug. Sharif called for honest talks with the Indian leadership on so-called burning issues like Kashmir. He needs to be reminded that there is nothing to talk vis-a-vis Kashmir. Kashmir was always integral to the Indian Union and its status was further clarified by the revocation of Article 370, which again was purely India's internal matter. The only good Pakistan can do with respect to Kashmir is this: its military intelligence complex stops sending terrorists and dismantles Pakistan based terror launchpads. But the truth is this is simply not within Sharif's power and the generals cannot give it up because the so-called Kashmir issue has made the careers of many in Rawalpindi GHQ. Sharif should concentrate on trying to fix Pakistan's own deepening problems rather than chase grand talks with New Delhi. Pakistan's economy is a basket case. As of January 6, forex reserves held by the State Bank of Pakistan plunged to $4.34 billion, just enough to cover 3 weeks of imports. Things have been further exacerbated by the devastating floods last year that drenched one-third of the country, displaced 8 million people, and dealt a body blow to its agriculture sector. Meanwhile, inflation is forecast to stay between a whopping 21 to 23% with severe shortage of essentials like flour and fuel. True, some of Pakistan's donors like Saudi Arabia, UAE and China have pledged further support, but a large chunk of this will materialize over 3 to 5 years. Add to this the spike in terror attacks by the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan across the country and Islamabad's deteriorating relations with the Afghan Taliban. Perhaps it is precisely because Islamabad is facing heat along the Durand line that Sharif is offering an olive branch to his eastern neighbor. India is ignoring this and should continue to do so.